Well, it's week 2 and you know what that means, it's coaster time, and we haven't done one of these in a while. How very exciting! Actually, it's probably all a bit brat. You'll see why. Hi you guys, welcome back to OakRoad Park, which I know at some point I am going to call Oakwood accidentally. But this is our Planet Coaster Park inspired by Oakwood and Pleasurewood Hills here in the UK. And as you can see, there is a lot of stuff that's happened in this park since the last episode. I'm not going to talk you through it all right now because this is just the intro. But this is our main area of focus in our edition this week. And this is a re-record because we need to address the elephant in the room. Corvus has just done a park series, which if you're not watching, by the way, you really need to go and check out. But he's just put out a spinning coaster, and I know that we spend a lot of time robbing from other parks. We don't rob other creators, so I just wanted to let you know that this is a complete coincidence. We've just put out the same episode at the same time. As I said, this was originally recorded back in July, and this is a re-record of that intro. So this is the coaster that we've got then. It felt like this was a park that needed to have some kind of a cheap-ish but attractive headliner, so the spinner was the perfect for it. So you come out of the station into the lift hill. It's 30 degrees as normal, and it's actually quite fast. These are capable of quite fast lift hills. And then you come into this usual profile first drop, right? So you sort of unbank it here, and that's actually what starts the car spinning. And then it comes into this first drop, which looks a lot steeper than it actually is. I think it's only like 45 degrees. It's really not steep. It just looks steep because it comes into this overbanked curve here, and then into an overbanked wave turn. So you sort of snake past that way, snake past that way. Then you have an airtime hill that goes underneath the lift hill. Some amazing near miss elements here, and a near miss element here, because it then comes into what I call a helix dive. So it comes this way up and then back underneath itself into another overbanked turn, and then into this little like constant upward, I don't even know what to call it, it's a constant upward curve into an airtime hill down, and then into the snake pass. I love these snake passes. They're actually really quite fun to profile because it starts there, and then it does that one, it just sort of like swings side to side. And then comes into the final turn, and then into the brake run, which of course is angled ever so slightly. The maintenance area then is going to be here, and of course we're going to have the transfer track that's going to be in this area here. Now I need to just correct the queue because I realised quite late that this piece of track needs to occupy this space right here because of the way that the mechanism works. So we're going to go ahead and correct that shortly. But this is the area that we are going to work in. I've continued the railway line across, and we now have areas for the railway shed. We've got a couple of shops and stuff that are coming in here, and then we've got some fast passes. So this is like the area that we're going to be working in. So let's not rip off Corvus, but let's carry on. See you in a minute. Well, this is coming together quite nicely, and I really like how this is turning out. We're going to do a full tour in a minute, right? But there's something that's just bugging me, and I need your help, please, guys. So in the comments, if you please. This is feeling a bit dense. I know as theme park builders, we tend to try and throw everything into one space because that's what you do for guest circulation and guest satisfaction and all of that stuff. But if you have a look at images of Oakwood and Pleasurewood Hills, there are large swathes of space. Trees and whatever in there, but it's just large swathes of space. But as we know, Planet Coaster doesn't do large swathes of space very well, and you kind of got to make it a little bit realistic and a little bit, I don't know, it's just bugging me, right? This isn't wrong by any means. This is exactly how I thought this was going to turn out, but I don't know, like, janky and cheap is not devoid of detail. That's the thing. Right, and so that's what I'm going for here. There's going to be lots of detail, all of those fine touches, all of the theme makers toolkit passes, and all of that stuff that we do in every other park series is all still relevant. It all still needs doing. The difference is this stuff is all generic, and it's all thrown together, almost like painting by numbers style thrown together. And their buildings aren't going to win any awards, but it's just, yeah, I don't know how to deal with this idea of swathes of space. So, guys, comments, please. I need your help. I need your advice. I need your steer. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to anyway, because sod it, it's my channel. This is next week's episode, right? This is the log flume. And this is what I mean by swathes of space. I want this area here to be a grassy area, and I want this bit underneath here to be the access point for the log flume. This is where the entrance and the exit's going to go. But I just don't think this is enough space. But if I move it out of the way, the park doesn't feel like it flows anymore. So yeah, that's what you're helping me with, please guys. I really appreciate your input and your thoughts. So let's have a look at what we've done, because you've already kind of seen this as I've been wittering on. But here's the station. I've just realized these are a different color. I originally had the beams as gray, as you can see, and I changed them to yeah, changed them to green. So really simple station. I think it's Sea Serpent, I think it is. I actually can't be bothered to go and check the name. Generic station, that's all it is. And these beams, I've done this before. I love it, right? I love it. I use it in Western and in the Western theme and all sorts. But yeah, really generic station. It needs to feel new, so the wood is still that piney yellowy colour, you know, the same as we've used over on the entrance area and stuff. And then of course we've just got concrete pad base. I need to do some detailing. I need to make it have a lip and stuff, so it's not just like a stark wall and whatever. I might even start to dirty it up, because remember, this is new, but concrete ages really poorly really quickly. Take a look at Oblivion in like 1999 2000. It was really starting to show an age then. So this ride would have been put in what, 2016 17, so it's relatively old. It's like 8 years by now, so it probably needs a little bit of wear and tear. So this is the maintenance area. Then I've just put in the beginnings of the transfer track. It needs a bit of touching up and electric work and whatever. And then pebbles. Oh my god, pebbles. I have started a revolution. I know that I did this in Beachy Point. Can we start a trend, please, in the comments? Viva la Pebbolution. That's what you need to comment. Viva la Pebbolution. Because I've noticed that a lot of other creators are now falling in love with the pebbles. These aren't new. They've been on the workshop all along. It's not a secret. And I'm certainly not the harbinger of pebbles, but yeah, everyone's using them, and they're just great space fillers, aren't they? It just makes the area look good. I love them. It's exactly what this park would do. Throw pebbles down to stop the weeds from going through. The maintenance area then itself, I settled on a flat roof, and this is why the stuff was originally grey, by the way. I did have a pitched roof originally, but I actually fell in love with the flat roof at the end. So reasons being that it's just a shed. This is not, as I said before, they're not going to be winning awards for their buildings or their themes. It's just a shed. It's all it needs to be. So that's what we've got here, and I like it actually. When the roof's going to be on, it's going to be pretty decent. So yeah, it's cool. So, Cosmic Cow Place, I started to design this, and then I realised I was actually doing a design that was really similar to one that I used in Reigate Lake. So I just decided to pull that one in, because that's just so much easier. And I think this is the perfect thing for this spot. It's just garish. It would have been here, and the coaster would have been put around it, and we would have been loving it. So yeah, I love it. I love that. I love it in that spot. And then likewise with this one here, it's just a simple shack design. Of course, you've got the backstage bit. This is where the kitchens and stuff would be. I just wanted to keep it simple for this space, but I wanted it to feel different. The Enterprise is having a little bit of work done. I don't know if I'm going to get this finished in this episode. I don't think I want to do this. I just need to get a feel for how this is. We're going for this real horrible mix of fence, right, where it's curved and lovely and rounded for the queue line in some areas, but then it's straight edges in the others. Remember that the park would do everything in their power to save money, so the least amount of fencing they use, the better. So they're going to be cutting corners where they can. And there was this whole thing, by the way, that wavy walls use fewer bricks than straight walls. So it's really weird. It's a really weird scientific mathematic problem, and I love it. So this is what we're going for here, the Enterprise. I am gonna dirty this one up and stuff. There's going to be weeds and whatever growing in the middle here, because, you know, have a look at Enterprise at Alton Towers before that closed. That's the kind of thing that we are going for there. So, ride photos. I want to do something different with a ride photo booth. I normally have a format, right? But I do want to do something different for this one. This ride will have photos. It's a monetized opportunity. So I just want to do something different. I don't want to do the original stuff. I found these CCTV monitors on the workshop, so this is cool. So that actually saves some space. I'd normally use one of the bigger monitors, so I'm now using the CCTV monitors, and it's on there. So I'm just going to flesh this out with a little bit of crap on a little bit of stuff, and then we're going to call it a day. Then I have also done lots of curbing, custom curbing using the window sills from the Ghostbusters pack, and I've started to do some of the fence work. I know I said last week, I don't do fence work normally. I actually needed to do the fence work because have a look at Oakwood. They just don't die fencing anywhere. Well, they do, but very sparingly. And if you have a look at speed, they don't have permanent don't die fencing. They just use the construction fences that you can get. It's proper jank. I don't know how they've not injured and killed more people. I really don't. But that's what we're going for here. So sparingly used the don't die fencing all along here, and only used it in the area that's needed it. Save money where you need to. So rather than bringing the fence around here, you just bring it up to the railway shed and call it done, and there's a gap there. And then the same idea with the fences here. You just do whatever you can just to fence off the area, but the rest is just perfectly accessible, and that's exactly what Oakwood does. Guys, it frightens me. It really, really does. The health and safety bit, oh, I hate it. The Sparce place is coming together. I need to do some more work on this one. I need to sort of play this out and see how this goes. And then the last thing that you may have noticed, custom supporting. I have done a little bit of custom supporting around and about. The most custom supporting I've done is here on the lift hill. I don't know how these supports work, but apparently they do. Have a look at Storm Chaser. It absolutely works. But this one at the top here, this is where you would find all the lift hill motor and stuff, so I'm going to need to do touching up and whatever on that one, but I've started to do the custom supporting. The supports for in-game, they're actually decent enough for what we're trying to achieve here, but I have just had to go in and put some custom supports elsewhere, like where we've got paths and stuff that we need them, so that's all good. I like how this has turned out. And then, of course, I have just gone through and just taken out some of the unnecessary supports. Like when you do the 4 meter method, you get supports every 4 meters, but you don't need them that frequently. So sometimes you can just go out and take out every other support and it works. And then you just keep the ones in that you need. So there you go. That's what we're looking like midpoint. As I said, I am loving it. I really like how this is turning out, but I just don't know if this is too dense, and that's what I need your help on, please. So whilst you're doing that, I'm going to go and finish. Also, that sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? I'll see you in a minute. And there you go then, guys. One generic jank spinner. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm still having those vibes of there's too much going on in this area, but when you pull apart Oakwood a little bit and you look at the speed area, for example, that's kind of quite dense where they've put it. It's stuck in the middle of nowhere, connected by paths that come from nowhere and have no detailing to it. But yeah, I don't know. This is why I'm struggling. This is why I need your help, because yeah, I mean, even Pleasurewood Hills, it's kind of the same. It's dense in places, but very, very sparse in others. Anyway, I'm stressing about it, and you guys will either tell me, you know, what's wrong or what's going on or whatever. But this is the view, either way, you're going to get from the main plaza. I quite like it, you know. I quite like how this has turned out. Even if it was a full-on park, I still like this view. So let's have a look then at the rest of the coaster, shall we? Because lots and lots and lots have been done. Queue line is now done. There is a sign. It's got no name, so feel free to name it if you guys want to. I will do the usual thing. You know, you guys will get to have a vote and whatever. So this is where it will be. No queue times on this one, because Oakwood and Pleasurewood Hills don't bother with that sort of stuff. They don't have the technology, they don't have the money, they don't have the budget to do queue lines and stuff. So yeah, it's missing queue signs, and this is weird. Like, it feels like it's not complete, but it is. It's complete. And then of course FastPass, they do have FastPass because they monetize the area as much as they can. But the queue line kept really simple. It's just a cattle pen. It's everything. Yeah, everything that it needed to be. part of the covers are all down. I even toyed with putting bins, by the way, in the queue lines, because if you look at Oakwood, they don't have bins in the queue lines. It's just take rubbish with you. In fact, just drop it on the floor. No one will know. Oakwood's become very much a wipe your feet on the way out kind of park. But no, let's go for a little bit of class, shall we? Again, I'm thinking that this brick is probably a bit too bright for this area, but the other brick that we've got... Actually, the other brick is recolorable. In the next episode, I might change the brick over, see if I can darken the area a little bit. But I have decayed the area slightly. I didn't want to do it all the way around. I didn't want the ride or the whole area to look like it was run down and unkempt, but I did just want to start to get these accents of the water running off onto the concrete. So that's what I've done. Just put some dirt decals around and about, just to give it a little bit of life. And then of course I've done the catwalk clutter and stuff. So this is the area where you would find lots of the electric boxes and all of that sort of stuff. And then at the top of the lift hill, I've just put a couple of lift motors in, and then I've just finished it all off. Nothing too heavy, nothing too detailed. Again, we need to keep this light-hearted for keeping free and whatever for Planet Coaster 2 content and whatever. So that's what we've got going on. There's some stuff coming. So yeah, I've just done that bit. And then the station itself has got all of its usual detailing inside that you would find. I love how jank this is. Fluorescent lights for the win. That's all I'm going to say. It's all about the fluorescent lights in here. There's no theme, is there? And then we can't even say this is stylized, because they definitely wouldn't have paid an architect to come in and make this a thing. But lots of corrections of the stuff that was there from before. And then I've just carried on the purple beams and whatever, because I had realised I hadn't actually finished doing those. Put down a concrete floor just to give it a uniform look. I didn't want to distress it as such, because it's fine as it is. It's slightly darker than it normally would be, just to give it the feel for dirt, but actually it's pretty decent texture nonetheless. And then yeah, the inside of the station here, it's nothing more than this. I mean, in real life, I think this station would actually be a little bit narrower. You wouldn't need all of this space in the cattle pens here, and you certainly wouldn't need all of this space on the exit path. You could make it probably 2, maybe 3 meters narrower than it is. But hey, it is what it is. It's Planet Coaster, right? We're doing a lot of squinting because it's Planet Coaster, so we're all good. On the outside here, yeah, I've just finished this off and put the path cover down here just to tidy it all up. So foliage wise, I've decided to keep all of this very, very, very simple. Again, I've been looking at Oakwood. It seems to be that Oakwood very much has a wooded area, but everything else around it is just trees sparsely used with a bit of overgrowth. And I think this is what's causing my about this park, is because when you look at Oakwood, it's very overgrown, but also maintained at the same time. So every so often you'll find like an open area, and it's not like this where it's just one solid texture that repeats and whatever, as we've discussed previously. You get like tufts of mown grass. No, you don't mow glass. Mown grass and bits of dirt and whatever. So this is kind of what I'm trying to represent here. There'd be no trees in this area. This would just be grass and bits of rock and whatever that are put down. But then every now and again you do have trees. Now these trees are in the... No, it's not actually in the right area either. It's on the outside. So you do also have trees and stuff that are in here. And then you have some manicured bits along here. So I wanted to put the conifers back in. Important that the conifers made a show. But then every so often I'm just doing a little bit of overgrowth. Nothing to make it look untidy, because this isn't that kind of park. But I do just want some overgrowth. And I've done the same over here as well. There is an area that I did have completely open, but actually it felt like it needed trees, and then the trees just didn't feel right because they were just plonked on top of the landscape. So again, I've just given it some overgrowth just to give it a little bit of life. And it looks alright. I am okay with that. I love this maintenance area. It just sticks out like a sore thumb as a shed, and it is just there. Inside, I've just tidied it up with some maintenance-y type stuff. Nothing too heavy inside here. Fluorescent lights again for the win. There's no other access to this. It's all done via this way here. And then I have just... Well, it was already in, but I put the path along here. And we're good to go. Over on the Enterprise, I have done the overgrowth that I said I was going to do, but I haven't finished it because I need to do the rest of the stuff over this way. The next episode, I think what I want to get done is the log flume, the rest of this area, and maybe this restaurant. I've got an idea for the restaurant and how it's going to sit, and then that should complete this this area quite nicely. So the last bit to show you then is this bit down here. It's the railway shed. I like it. I like how it's sitting. I like that it's now the same colour as the entrance area. It's got a bit of consistency. It makes it feel like it's all part of the same thing. But actually, this yellow and green is quite traditional British Railway. British Rail. So it's good. I like it. Inside, I haven't done anything because I am going to be doing an entire episode of maintenance area and staff car parks and that sort of stuff. So this is going to be where I'm going to kit all of this out. But I have just started to do the clutter on the outside just so I know what the outside is going to look like. And then I have put the pebbles and stuff. I mean, the pebbles were already down, but I've put the pebbles and stuff down because this would be a work area. So I think I'm going to continue the pebbles through. I did originally want the concrete to come round, but I do need to finish off this stuff. And I don't know whether I'm going to expand the park out this way or whether that's actually going to be the outside of the park and we'll be done with it with some foresty type stuff. But what I love about using the pebbles is that every so often you can come along and you can make them hide the sleepers because that's exactly what pebbles do. So it kind of feels quite realistic there. And then this level crossing, I've just started to pull this together just so I know how this bit is going to look. I actually did originally think I could bring it round this way. I might still do that in the future, but for now it's coming around the outside here, and then I just need to know what's going to come along in this way. So that's everything, I think. It's all looking good. There you go. So we're going to go on a ride in a moment. But guys, before then, thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already liked and commented, subscribed, etc., please make sure you do, because this is the last series before we do Planet Coaster 2, and we're trying to grow the channel. So there you go. And we don't grow without those. Right, guys, have a good week. I will speak to you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.